Welcome to HNS Anime and Manga. Like the video and subscribe channel and ring the bell.
Chapter 5 The Holy Sword Trial. It was thus that Leonis made Ryzelia his minion, before going to the administration bureau for what was called a Holy Sword Trial. The two of them stopped for a light meal. At any rate, Leonis wasn't undead anymore. He'd need sustenance, or he wouldn't be able to use his sorcery properly. What would you do if I exposed your identity to the bureau? I'm not worried about that. If Ryzelia were to expose him, it would also come out that she was a vampire. That wasn't an option for someone who aspired to be a holy swordswoman. I know, Ryzelia murmured grumpily. Regardless, a minion can't betray its master. A seal surfaced on Leonis's hand, and he presented it to the young woman. What's that? A seal of dominion and subordination. It can be used to force a minion to obey. And no, you mean, like, PV things? Two tears welled up in Ryzelia's eyes. Well, it's possible. I won't do anything like that, though. Really, answered Leonis, a bit exasperated. Some Dark Lords were known to use minions for such purposes. As the undead king, Leonis had never subjected his minions to such treatment. All right. I believe you, Leo. Ryzelia nodded. You were a gentleman when we were in the bath together. But what is a minion supposed to do? A minion's purpose in being is to defend their master, since this body has grown weak. Ryzelia giggled at his words. Don't worry, your big sister will keep you safe. The girl patted his head somewhat happily. The two then entered one of the school's restaurants and claimed a table. A human body really is troublesome. Leonis's feelings had entirely flipped since his time in the bath. The newly undead Ryzelia, on the other hand, looked a bit anxious. Hey, I'm not really that hungry, but I can still eat normally, right? High-ranking vampires can eat regular food. Yes, it takes time to convert the nutrients into mana, though, so it's a bit inefficient. Leonis spoke in a whisper. Also, unlike most vampires, you can walk around in daytime. A vampire queen was among the highest grade of undead creatures, rivaling even elder liches and black knights. It was a high day walker, dissimilar from the night orc species of undead. Oh, thank goodness. Ryzelia sighed in relief. A vampire who ate food was also useful in terms of camouflage. If you ever really feel the urge to drink blood, feel free to take it from me. He may have done it to save her life, but he'd still turn this girl who aspired to be a holy swordswoman into a vampire. The least he could do was share his blood whenever she needed it. But when he said it, Ryzelia made a small, barely audible gulping sound. Her ice blue eyes were fixed intently on the nape of Leonis's neck. Just a bit, though, alright? And no, that's not what The girl turned away, her face flushing as red as a tomato. I won't drink blood, and I don't want to forget my humanity. Keep your voice down. Leonis looked around the nearby tables, flustered. Thankfully, they'd come in at around 3 in the afternoon, so there weren't too many students about. What few there were eyed their table and seemed to be whispering to one another. Did they hear what we just said? He used a sensory expansion spell to listen in on their conversation. Check him out. Isn't that kid, like, super cute? He's still small. Are you into that or something? Yeah, gotta pick 'em when they're young and fresh. Whoa, you've got a serious criminal vibe. When kids that cute grow up, they become Dark Lords in the bedroom. Know what I mean? Stop it, that sounds bad. He looked over here. Image. One of the girls gave a mischievous smile and waved at him. Which Leonis promptly ignored. Hearing the words Dark Lord did make his heart skip a beat, though. Watch what you're saying, he warned Ryzelia. The silver-haired girl hid her face awkwardly behind the menu. So did you decide what you'll order? She asked. Bread will do. Bread? You mean this freshly baked bread? Yes, that. There's lots of other stuff you could try. The food in this cafeteria is pretty good, she said, pointing at a few menu items. Bread will do just fine. I don't really know what all these other things are, Leonis said, cocking his head dubiously. What is all this? Gratin. Lasagna, pasta. These were all dishes Leonese had never heard of before. They likely didn't exist 1,000 years ago, or maybe they did, but only adorning the tables of royalty and nobility. Whichever it was, they certainly hadn't been part of Leonese's world. Rizelia suddenly poked Leonese's forehead with her index finger. Just bread simply isn't enough. You need balanced nutrition. I'd rather not have an undead preach to me about By the time he stopped himself, it was already too late. Tears began forming in Rizelia's eyes. I get it. Okay, I'm sorry. Leonese offered a hurried apology. A Dark Lord begging his minion for forgiveness was an odd sight to be sure, but it wasn't like she'd willingly become undead. Meanie, Rizelia whispered sullenly. I'm sorry. Leonese apologized again, which she regarded with a little sniff. In that case, try this season's vegetable garnished pasta. Okay, fine. I'll have that. Leonese nodded. Rizelia ordered them the pasta and a salad. Your big sister will cover for you today. Once they issue your permanent ID card, use your own credits. Okay, credits. That's the currency we use in the Assault Gardens. Completing tasks for the Academy earns you rewards. Oh, money. I see. Leonese smiled boastfully and pulled a gold coin from his shadow. It was a large Rudor gold coin, issued by the Shkerist Empire. A commoner could live for the rest of his or her life off one of these coins, and Leonese had over 20,000 of them hidden away in the realm of shadows. He'd taken them as military funds from Necrozoa's vaults, planning to use them for the upcoming revival of the Dark Lord's armies. However, What is this? Rizelia's reaction to seeing the coin was lacking, to say the least. It's a Rudor coin. One of these is worth enough to buy this entire restaurant. Well, I don't think they take that kind of money here, Rizelia said with a mixed expression. The 7th Assault Garden only accepts credits. What? Leonese was dumbstruck. But even if I can't use it as currency, isn't pure gold rare and valuable? Oh, it's pure gold. But gold isn't that rare of a metal. Rizelia smiled at him cheerily. It's used in decoration, but actually, the gold we refine is probably even purer than this. In an instant, the vast troves of wealth amassed in the treasury of shadows became worthless. Leonese could only moan in despair. But as he did, "Oh, is that an old coin? Classy thing you've got there." A voice, cool like the wind, reached Leonese's ears. Turning around, he was faced with a girl curiously eyeing the coin in his hand. Her hair was a shade of azure reminiscent of the sky. She wore her hair short. At first glance, one might mistake her for a beautiful young man. However, her plump chest made a clear outline below her white outfit. She was short, just a bit taller than Leonese's 10-year-old body. Her outfit was different from Rizelia's. The top of her uniform was casually draped over some sort of eccentric get-up. Her eyes held the calm composure of a gorgeous young woman. Sakuya. Rizelia raised her eyes to meet Sakuya's and waved. They're acquainted, from the looks of things. Isn't there a tactical drill today? Yeah, but it was painfully boring. I snuck out, the short-haired beauty said, and then turned her gaze to Leonese. Are you the boy capable of using a holy sword? You've heard about Leo? Yes, Miss Elfine told me about him. You were found in a ruin, right? Yes, I was abducted by the voids until Celius saved me. Well, whatever happened, it's a good thing you're safe. The short-haired girl silently extended her right hand. I'm Sakuya Sieglinde. Nice to meet you. Leonese Magnus. Leonese returned the handshake. Her hand was small and slightly cold, unmistakably a girl's hand. But the moment he grasped it, Leonese realized something. This is the hand of one who lives by the sword. She looked to be about 14 or 15 years old. Just how much training had she endured to reach such a level at this age? Leo, is it? A good name. Invokes the image of a lion. The girl smiled, letting go of his hand. Sakuya is our platoon's vanguard attacker, Rizelia explained. I see. They're in the same platoon. Leonese was genuinely curious as to how Rizelia had managed to tempt a swordswoman like Sakuya to her side. By the way, are you two here for lunch? Yes, we're going to eat and then go register Leo's holy sword. Sorry if I'm interrupting. Then, you're not interrupting anything, Sakuya. Have you had lunch yet? Well. Sakuya averted her gaze and fell silent for a moment. I actually don't have any credits on me today. What? What did you waste all your credits on? Rizelia raised her voice in surprise. Gambling. So it's your own fault. It is. Rizelia reached a cold conclusion, to which Leonese nodded and agreed. That's wrong. Sakuya shook her head defensively. I got a little fired up, and. Rizelia's scrutiny grew sharper. Contrary to how cool and collected this Sakuya person looked, she was pretty hopeless. I ran out of credits, so the other party agreed they'd let me off the hook if I showed them my breasts. I was about to take off my shirt when a professor on patrol walked in. Sakuya, why you can't do that? You're a girl. Rizelia grabbed Sakuya by the shoulders and started shaking her. No sweat. The other person was a girl, too. Does that make it any better? Rizelia wondered with a perplexed expression. Sakuya did have an appearance that looked like it might be popular among girls, too, but anyway, one thing led to another, and I'm broke. The words almost sounded boastful coming from Sakuya. Rizelia gave a small sigh. What am I going to do with you? Fine, I'll treat you to lunch. No, Miss Rizelia, I couldn't. It's fine. I got some credits from the ruin investigation. The silver-haired girl presented her card. Then I owe you one. Truthfully, my stomach's been growling quite a bit for a while now. Sakuya bowed her head deeply and politely took a seat at their table. What did you order, kid? Some food I've never heard of before. A daredevil, are you? I think I'll go for some pancakes. Sakuya, you can't live on just sweets. Rizelia chimed in. You've absolutely nothing to worry about. I won't gain any weight. That's not what Rizelia said, holding her temples in a gesture of exhaustion. As they waited for their dishes to arrive, Leonese brought up a question that bothered him. Miss Sakuya, what's that outfit you're wearing? Oh, it's my homeland S. The traditional garb of the Sakura orchid. Sakuya nodded. It's a memento of my elder sister,